Hello friends, good afternoon. Welcome to another session of Uncovering India. This is Shashwat Guptare, and today our area of discussion is healthcare, and which is a very important and a very critical aspect, considering that a country which has got almost a 2 billion population and almost half of it living below the poverty line. But unfortunately, we have lawmakers who spend only 3.6% of its GDP on healthcare and spend more money towards self-glorification. Even worse, there are people in the society who, instead of showing support to the ill, or resort to every now and then towards stigmatization of the critically ill people, especially those who have communicable diseases like the TB, HIV, leprosy, and now COVID. So amidst all these challenges, we have organizations and individuals who have fought all odds to serve the people who are critically ill and provide them with quality of life. And one such organization is Human Touch Foundation, Goa. And with us is Peter Borges, who is the founder of Human Touch Foundation. And we welcome you, sir, to this session. It must have been a very challenging journey for you last 1 decade plus. How does it feel to have completed 11 years in this line?
I feel very elated and satisfied for completing more than a decade now. If I look back, Human Touch Foundation as an organization, I founded it when I was still pursuing my bachelor's in social work, and it was, I think I was around 21, 22. So it was primarily a youth-led and youth-focused organization, and for us, any issue for young people or to work with young people was a priority, and we have kept that focus over the decade. And given our priority areas, the mandate for which the organization was formed, basically we have 4 areas, thrust areas of work: HIV, substance abuse, TB, and sexual and reproductive health. These were the 4 areas for which we were mandated to work, and we have kept that focus over the years and aligned followed all the developments in the issue, and accordingly ran an evidence-based program focusing on the impact.
So what kind of challenges you have faced? Some of that I also counted just now. It includes one of the major thing that people like you face is fund crunch. And yet despite that, you guys are still fighting on to help these unfortunate souls. So how do you cope up in such difficult situations? Fund crunch, government's inadequate support, public stigmatization of these patients. How do you deal with such scenarios together and still continue to serve them?
Yeah, fund crunch is a very big challenge for us, and we have few patrons within our organizations, within the society, who strong pillars, I can call them, who really patronize our work, and that's how we are able to sustain this work. Through those patrons or well-wishers, that's the only source of funding which we have. We try to connect to various people. Not only, we are not looking only in financial contribution, but if you see even during COVID time, I think more than 10 lakh was received, goods were received in kind. So that is something also which we value very much. Partnership is one thing which we often value, because if you don't have resources, we need to partner and do those programs. So that's how we are able to have a focused intervention by partnering too. Speaking of challenges, like the biggest challenge is that we work with vulnerable population, and vulnerable population are always either sidelined or marginalized by the society. And that's the biggest challenge, like, even when it comes to HIV, the marginalized group which we work with, like, sex workers, young people who inject drugs, young men having sex with men, the LGBT community, all these are vulnerable groups which are generally not accepted in the society. So it's a big challenge to work, and that's we try to create a lot of sensitization. We believe in advocacy. We have brought in a lot of systemic changes by advocating with government and other civil society organizations.
You just said that you have this young adults with you. Mostly you are dealing with young adults.
Yeah.
And who are HIV positive. So that means, are they the first generation of youngsters who have now grown up after the HIV infection first broke out and the previous generation went away, and this is the first young generation after that?
So what we see now, young adolescent or youth living with HIV are generally first time survivors. Most of it because of the ART treatment which came in early 2000, and Goa it came in, I think, 2004, I think. So that's how the lifespan of those living with HIV has increased. And also we now believe in viral suppression. Today the HIV medication is become manageable. Although it is a chronic illness, it is become manageable. So that's why we no longer speak about that having lifespan and things like that. So it's no longer we
Death is no longer a factor.
Yeah, it all depends how you manage it. Like a diabetic manages with insulin and with food habits and things like that, exercise. Same way it is, HIV has become a manageable disease now.
But then, although physically it has become manageable, but when it comes to societal attitude, the discrimination, the social stigmatization, ostracization, they are still very rampant.
Yes.
Which continues even now when we see COVID cases, similar incidents are again coming up. So has there been a perennial, how do you deal with such a perennial problem?
See, stigma is again a huge issue, and although if you look at Goa's history in HIV epidemic itself, we had in early 90s we had Dominic D'Souza's case, who was again quarantined because he arrested because he was found positive, and then the whole movement was started. From Goa the movement started, and it literally brought a change in the Goa Public Health Act, and then lawyers like Anand Grover, who is now advocate of Supreme Court, he took up the matter, and then again a bill came. So a lot of changes are attributed to Goa, but Goa also has in the recent past also has noticed few incident of stigma and discrimination. Like in 2014, there were 23 young children who were removed from school. That was a national shame. So Goa, although has contributed in fighting stigma, also has some incident which are of national shame, and isolated incidents like on stigma and discrimination still happens in Goa. Every year we get cases of children being refused admission, children being stigmatized.
How do you deal with this kind of situation?
So we have employed a few strategies. As regards HIV, we see there are 3 zeros. The whole global campaign is based on 3 zeros: 0 new infection, 0 stigma and discrimination, and 0 HIV related deaths. So this is a campaign. Now when it comes to 0 stigma, what we generally try to do is to see where is stigma generally happens. So when it comes to our beneficiaries, mostly we see in school setting or job setting. Now what has happened in school setting, we have tied up with education department. So we sensitize headmasters and senior teachers of the school every year. Last year we had 3 workshops. We trained around, I think, close to 250 heads of the institution. But when it comes to job, we are finding little bit difficult, also because the HIV/AIDS Act has been passed in 2017, it received assent of the President of India, but in Goa, the rules are not notified. The rules are not notified, and that needs to happen. So there is a grievance redressal mechanism when it comes to HIV discrimination in that act. So unless a system is set in the state of Goa, rules are notified, nothing we cannot attempt to even get it addressed in a legal way.
So, how do you see the roadmap ahead, the road ahead for the HIV affected people? It's been more than almost 4 decades now since the HIV first, the advent of HIV first happened, and all these years have passed. Are we still where we started, or in terms of dealing with the issue, or we have made some progress as far as socially dealing with this problem is concerned?
Yeah, progress is there. In fact, a lot of you see even the prevention aspect we are having now in a yearly maybe below 400 new cases every year, which was not a case of some few years back. We have again made progress in mother-to-child prevention. We have, I think, 0 cases since 2014. That means no new child is born with HIV in the government system right now. Like our youngest child on the roll, I think, is 4 years old on the beneficiaries list. The other progress is also made, although I mentioned about stigma and discrimination, it's not that rampant as compared to other states and other parts of the country. We have seen less deaths happening. So 0 deaths also, towards that target, more and more people achieving viral suppression and living a normal life. Only things we need to improve is, mental health is becoming a main issue right now. Aging and HIV is becoming a main issue now, because those who have acquired when they were young people HIV now are aging with HIV. So aging related complication as well as HIV related complication. So cervical cancer again tops one of the comorbid condition. TB is again a comorbid condition which takes away a lot of lives. So these are the challenges.
So what is the message you would like to give to the society?
Yeah, message only I will give when it comes to children. There are a lot of young people. Goa has around close to 300 children and adolescents who are growing up with HIV. We need to get them, that's stigma needs to go. People or companies or any system needs to accept them for any job. There is nothing like no dangers of anyone acquiring HIV. Like now, COVID is there. There is only one route which stops now is sexual transmission route. So there is no way anyone, even in a workplace situation, can transmit HIV. So that needs to be handled and supported.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time, and we wish you all the very best to your organization. As ladies and gentlemen, we just heard from Mr. Peter Borges that HIV cannot spread just like that. It is not airborne. So kindly don't discriminate with the HIV people. Support them and help them grow, because they are as equally part of our society as you and me. This is Shashwat Gupta Ray signing off for Uncovering India. Thank you. Thanks a lot.